Cool.
Good evening. This is Talos. As I said in my channel update earlier today, I went ahead and recorded several weeks worth of content today, so there shouldn't be any more big, long 3 or 4 week gaps between videos. Sorry about that. And like I said in that update, if you're one of the people that subscribed because of my last video, thank you so much. But today, since I don't feel like editing anything, we're going to try something new. I have my wife here. She's eating popcorn. Say hello, wife.
Hi.
Hi. We're not going to give out her real name here on the scary internet, so we'll call her wife. So wife and I are here on the Creepypasta wiki. As you know, Creepypasta these days is not chain emails that you get. Or things like that anymore. It takes the form of the Creepypasta wiki, and so the fact that it's a wiki, the fact that anyone can write anything, is, well, it means that everything on here is entertaining, either because it's well written, because it's by someone who, just hasn't been discovered yet, someone who's got a lot of talent, someone like a Slime Beast, or like a Cracked Mac, or someone like that, and sometimes it means that any random person can just write down something that's, well, interesting. It's always entertaining. So we're here on the Creepypasta wiki. We're under useful links. We're going to click random pasta, and basically we're just going to hip fire read whatever I find. This one's called Won't You Play? It all started about 2 weeks ago. I lived in Austin with my girlfriend, and since I had some financial problems, I just moved in with her. I'm not a loser. Since she was my... Oh my gosh. Since she was... Oh, you're a bum. Okay, sorry. Since she was my only ride, I would go with her to her job at a nearby daycare center, and from there, walk to my job at the pharmacy down the street. there was this little boy who looked about 5 years old or so who went to the daycare, and for some reason was always hovering around me, talking to me. He never really seemed to socialize with the other kids, so I didn't mind. But every single time I was leaving, he would always follow me to the door, lightly tug my shirt, and ask, "Won't you stay and play with me?" The first couple of times I felt bad, and would stay a little longer until I could sneak away. But after a while, it began to really bother me, and I would swear each day his voice got a little deeper and more distorted, until I finally decided to just take the bus each day instead. Even though it meant I would have to sprint after work to catch it, and a combined $6 at the end of the day, I was fine with it. That was a bad sentence. But one night, one of my coworkers didn't show, so my boss told me I had to close up. I knew I would have to walk home, but I would get better pay, which would really help with the slowly climbing bus bill. Finally, at about 12:30, I closed up and began walking home. All was going well until I noticed a small group of guys started following me and kept on moving closer, until the point where I broke out into a frantic sprint. They began chasing me, and I realized they were gaining on me. I ran into a small alley and glanced back at them, but when I turned around, the fire escape ladder came out of nowhere, and before I could stop, I went head first into the ladder and blacked out. When I finally came back to my senses, I was in a dark, murky apartment. My head was aching with pain, and I was sprawled out on the cold, hard floor. I glanced at the digital clock on the floor, which read 3. I'm assuming 3 a.m., but We're just gonna go with 3. My thoughts were cloudy, and before I could gather them, I felt a faint, ice-cold breath run down my neck, which sent ice up my spine. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on a sec. Aren't we lying on our back? How is breath going down our neck? That's okay. Where were we? I slowly turned around to see the little boy sitting there with his face shadowed by the darkness. He slowly began to levitate. He slowly began to levitate into the darkness, and I could barely see his shape at all. Then, as dark, thick blood... blood's coming out of his eyes. And he says, "Won't you stay and play with me?" Oh, my... Oh. Okay, it's not even good. Okay, so let's read the comments before I say anything. Okay, the first comment. Aurora.Jenkins.9 says, "Good, but why were those guys chasing him?" Yeah, that was never explained. The opening sentence was really bad, says Midnight2222. But other than that, this was really good. Okay, what was the first sentence? Let's see. It all started 2 weeks ago. That's not that bad. I mean, that's not that bad. Someone else says 9 out of 10. Cursed flower. I'd like to see if... Yeah. Good story. I wish there was more, but it did scare me, and that is why I am here. 8 out of 10. Okay, so that guy's scared easily. Fart rules.
No wonder.
That sort of speaks for itself. Okay, so let's dissect this just a little bit. The narrator's a loser, and that's okay. I mean, we're supposed to be believable, and we're supposed to be conversational. So I guess I don't really mind the guy's a loser, but it kind of distracted me from the story. Yeah, there was that, and then there was this creepy kid.
And then there was no other story.
And then there was no other... Yeah, it's like this one time there was a creepy kid.
I wasn't afraid.
The end. Yeah, my wife... Okay, so wife hates scary stuff. Just hates it. She won't watch The Mummy with me, which is my favorite comedy. So the fact that she wasn't scared by this at all. Did anyone else notice? I hope this wasn't intentional, but now that I've read the ending, I think it's really funny that the kid was always hovering around me. And then later he starts levitating. Okay, so there was a creepy kid, and there are these unexplained bullies. Okay, but then the thing that just murdered this story for me was the blood from the eyes. The blood coming from the bright white eyes. Non-human, non-earthly, as if non-earthly is even like a compound word that people use. Unearthly would have been good. Hellish, demonic, non-earthly voice. That's like not a thing that people say. But yeah, the otherworldly, yeah. The blood coming out of the eyes. So this is this is like Sonic.exe in real life. Apparently, the kid's floating around with blood coming out of his eyes. The one thing I will say that I like about this story is the last line. The last line is, "Won't you stay and play with me?" It's a harkening back to the second paragraph, and it's also suggestive. It's not, an okay story that devolves into like gore porn. It's an actual story, and it's suggestive. A lot of bad writers would have not ended the story there, and they would have had this kid do something horrible to the guy's body, or something like that, some kind of overly detailed, unnecessary violence. There was none of that. It was just this creepy kid who wants someone to play with him. And whatever that...
Bleeding eyes.
With bleeding eyes. And whatever that means, that's...
supposed to be scary.
Yeah, that's actually creepy. I mean, don't you think, like, I don't know, for me, saying, "Won't you stay and play with me," is actually scarier than...
There's no context.
There is no context, yeah. I mean, maybe if we saw this kid, like, kill a cat or something. Or something like that. Maybe if he was levitating in the in the home or something, in the daycare,
It's just bad.
it's not good.
Thumbs down.
It's not good. You know how when you I'm stealing this from Midnight Marinara, David, if you're listening, I'm sorry. You know how when you cook pasta, right, and it produces this glue because it's not cooked yet, and you throw it at the wall and it just sticks there. That's what this is. This is not creepy pasta, and it's not really crappy enough to make fun of either. It's just kind of like meh.
This isn't crappy.
This isn't crappy. Oh, you should.
Oh, wow.
Stick around. Maybe we'll keep featuring wife. There's some bad stuff. Maybe in the future we'll do a wife reacts to I don't know, something bad. Tell me in the comments. My wife is not familiar with our little sub genre here in Creepypasta land. So tell me in the comments, what horrible story would you like me to read for my wife with her mic'd and get a reaction video? I've got 3 stories queued up, ready to be edited, so we will definitely have an upload next week. So until then, good evening.